It happened again, another historic UFO hearing, and I can't believe what they just told us. Immaculate Constellation, UFO factories in our oceans, high-definition videos of the non-human technology, confirmation that we have captured and are replicating them, and intentional government disinformation programs that covers it all up. The 214-page testimony is titled, "The United States Department of Defense and the intelligence community are withholding information about anomalous phenomena from Congress." And it's thick with information, a lot of which wasn't even covered in the 2-hour hearing, and I've got the juiciest bits for you right here. Warning, Philip is a professional mind blower. The topics discussed are not for the closed-minded. So, this is the third major hearing dedicated to UAP transparency in recent times, after 2023's infamous revelation that the government may in fact be in possession of non-human biologics. Keeping tradition with this year's disclosure, everyone present made it abundantly obvious that there were certain individuals that did not want this hearing to happen. On the panel this time, we have a retired US Navy admiral, a former Department of Defense official, a former NASA official, all well-established, highly educated individuals, and of course, Michael Schellenberger, the journalist who presented the 200-page testimony that was the foundation of this hearing, who all testified under oath, meaning if they're lying, they're going to jail. They all insisted the government is deep into investigating and reverse engineering potentially alien technology using your money, the taxpayer, without actually telling you what they're using your money for. A lot of which comes from the enormous tax money funded Pentagon budget. And you want to know a little secret? The Pentagon has failed the past 7 consecutive tax audits and has in fact never passed one. Meaning the nation's largest government agency isn't able to prove what it spent its $824 billion budget on, nor can it account for 60% of its $4.1 trillion in assets. Imagine paying someone to do a job. They don't do it, and when you ask them about it, they tell you they lost all your money and have no idea what they spent it on. And above all, you legally can't even really do anything about it. In any other scenario, this is the definition of a scam, but in this case, we call it our government. If any regular person ever failed a tax audit, they'd likely face hefty fines and possible jail time for tax evasion. The Pentagon gets away scot-free, because even if they were to get fined, they would just use more of your money to pay it off. And like, what are you gonna do? Shut down the country's national defense force? These failed audits are significant because part of that budget is their useless all-domain anomaly resolution office, AARO, the department responsible for revealing to the public findings about UAPs. And so far, all they've ever done is hide shit from us or tell us what we thought was a UFO actually wasn't. Basically, the government's debunking department, whose head director, Dr. John Kozlowski, had his own hearing just a week later to explain himself, where he showed a couple pie charts and debunked a few UAP videos as being just weather balloons. He does admit that many UAP reports are currently unexplainable, but he can't really go into those too much as they're unresolved. The entire department's job is essentially, yes, we have unknown technology in our skies that we can't talk about, so let's instead focus on all the reports we've debunked to keep you calm. Schellenberger's document reveals that there is in fact a top secret UFO retrieval program deep in the Pentagon called Immaculate Constellation, an unacknowledged special access program, USAP, that our government promises doesn't actually exist, who he confirms was revealed to him by a number of former and current government officials who claim that even mentioning the program will put you on a list. Welcome to the club. So we already know there are hundreds of unknown objects flying around in our skies that pretty much defy physics in every way. It's no secret anymore. Dozens of pilots from major airlines around the world have anonymously reported them as well. No visible propulsion system, irregular flight patterns, and crazy stupid fast. Their movement is insane. To put into perspective, the human body can withstand about 9 Gs of force for about 2 seconds before ceasing to live. And F-16 fighter jets about 18 Gs before they experience severe structural damage. The UAPs are consistently performing in excess of 3,000 Gs. This, quite literally, is not physically possible. Yet they're doing it. They're also able to fly through water without any signs of slowing down. This is the reason they stopped calling them UFOs, unidentified flying object, and now refer to them as UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, as we can't even be sure if they're exactly flying or whether they're even objects at all, because they appear to go into and come out of our oceans just as smoothly as they float through our skies, like they don't experience any drag from passing through water, with further rumors speculating that there might even be extraterrestrial bases and UAP manufacturing facilities at the bottom of our oceans, which is not confirmed, just some insane speculation. But to be honest, it would be the best place for aliens to hide a base if they could, as we do know more about space than we do about the deepest parts of our oceans. The Immaculate Constellation program also has high-definition photos and videos of these UAPs coming out of our oceans, which they refuse to disclose to the public, along with other high-quality imagery, measurements, and more intelligence surrounding the UAPs. The fuzzy videos we see are the only thing they allowed to get released, affirming to mostly come in the shape of spheres, orbs, discs, saucers, triangles, boomerangs, arrowheads, and even some organic-shaped. Did they just confirm the jellyfish UFO? One case involves orbs surrounding an F-22 fighter jet, which sounds awfully familiar to a certain flight MH370 incident, which, don't you worry, I'll be covering real soon. Now, you may be asking, why is it that we're unable to capture these HD photos of UFOs ourselves, and most everything we get is always conveniently blurry? The former NASA official on the panel, Mr. Gold, actually brought up an excellent point about this. These UAPs are fast, they're unpredictable, and they're typically very, very far away. Whenever scientists wish to study new phenomena, they usually have to take time to develop instruments specifically designed for observing said phenomena. Just like we have for objects in space, decades of research went into building the telescopes that we use to take the incredible photos of our universe today. The videos of UAPs we have now is like trying to take a photo of a black hole in deep space using an iPhone. It took us about a century from when black holes were first proposed to developing the instruments to take a photo of one, which we did for the first time in 2019. Super expensive and highly advanced technology was used to take this. Immaculate Constellation has developed those instruments to observe UAPs in detail, and they don't want to share the pics. Allegedly in possession of a 13-minute long HD full-color video of a white orb UAP coming out of the ocean off the coast of Kuwait before getting joined by another orb and then moving out of the frame. In another video, the crew of a Navy aircraft carrier watched a small orange-red sphere fall from the sky down to their flight deck and then zipping away. Multiple somethings are definitely out there. Yet the Department of Defense has denied the existence of UAPs over and over again, only to acknowledge them after they get revealed to the public, hiding it all under the guise of national security, and that there's definitely nothing more to show beyond what we've already seen. But don't worry, they're definitely telling the truth this time. Also included in the extensive testimony was a very interesting tactic that got all the tinfoil heads smiling ear to ear. Governments are actively engaged in disinformation campaigns to include personal attacks designed to discredit UAP whistleblowers. Bob Lazar has been categorically debunked. Yeah, well, guess what? You got bitch, and we might all owe him a bit of an apology. This is also evident in the Pentagon's Public Affairs Office, who, quote, openly employs a professional psychological operations officer as the singular point of contact for any UAP inquiries to both citizens and the media. Isn't that just a little odd? A literal PSYOP agent is the Pentagon's UFO spokesperson, and we already kinda knew this for decades. Since 1953, the CIA's Robertson panel recommended a strategy of using experts to dismiss and ridicule UAP witnesses and government whistleblowers. And a declassified 1971 Australian government memo about UAPs claims that the CIA urged the debunking of UFO sightings as cover of its efforts to develop craft powered by anti-gravity. The US Air Force openly used Project Blue Book as a means to publicly debunk UFOs by intentionally withholding information about them. Even within NASA, Mr. Gold claims members of the UAP independent study team were mocked and even threatened for just talking about any of this, with current alternative theories produced by AARO stating that these UAPs may be some natural phenomena that we don't fully understand yet. Oh yeah, right. While the US government is busy conducting secret UAP crash retrieval programs with the intent to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, just as Bob Lazar already told us over 30 years ago. Roswell, the infamous 1947 UFO crash in New Mexico that started it all and was mocked for being absolute nonsense, kind of confirmed at this point. All victims of the government's malicious disinformation efforts that fooled everyone. Now, I'm not saying that, I don't know, your favorite internet debunker is a government agent. They're probably not. But it is possible that the experts or the data used to debunk these theories could have been planted by intentional government disinformation operations like these. But don't worry, I'm sure they drew the line at UFOs. I mean, there's no way they would ever use this admittedly genius tactic of using experts to discredit theories they don't like on anything else, right? The panel of experts suggests the US is in possession of these non-human technologies and are replicating them, as are our foreign adversaries in a decades-long secretive arms race, as well as experimenting on the non-human biological bodies recovered from these crafts too, which puts the US military and the Immaculate Constellation program in direct violation of their constitutional duty to notify Congress and the public, that's us, of their operations. Both Trump and Obama have confirmed the US has info on UAPs they haven't released yet. Trump does claim he wishes to declassify more government documents like these for additional transparency on topics like UAPs and of course the JFK files when he comes into office next year. 2025 may or may not be an interesting one for us all.